You can eat all the healthy, organic food in the world and exercise all day. But if you're in a toxic relationship and you're constantly under stress, it's going to affect your health. If we're focusing on developing ourselves and building the best version of ourselves, then we become an asset not only to ourselves and our health, but also to anybody who's in our circle. There's predators out there. There's people with evil intentions. And when you cross paths with them and you don't know any kind of self-defense skills, then what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
What if you're with your family? She was walking in an underground parking lot. She was going to her car, and a man came up behind her to try to rob her. He ran up right behind her, and as he reached to grab her shoulder, she looked back, and so we can't just say, I don't believe in guns, because God forbid if the day came where somebody invaded your house and they're trying to take your wife or abduct your children, are you gonna say at that moment, I don't believe in guns?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Superhuman Blueprint Podcast.
Welcome to the Superhuman Blueprint Podcast. I am your host, Drew Griesel from Primal Wellness Coaching, and I am joined today in studio by my good friend, Jackson Califas. You may remember Jackson because if you followed our YouTube channel for a while, I posted an interview with Jackson I did a while back. We basically sat down at a coffee shop and just chatted, and I put it out on the YouTube channel, just talking a lot about his background and some of the stuff that he does now. Thought it would be fun to get Jackson on for a full podcast episode so we can really dig in. But I will link to the video that we recorded last time in the show notes. That way you can check that out. We don't have to cover the whole backstory today because we've covered that in the past. So if you want to get some of that backstory, check out that video. The Superhuman Blueprint Podcast.com is where the show notes will be for today's episode with Jackson. And I will also include links to find Jackson on there as well. But Jackson, welcome to the Superhuman Blueprint Podcast and the home studio here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited for this podcast. It's been a long time coming since the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it is summertime here in Southern California.
Yes,
the room
sir.
that we are sitting in is windowless and not air conditioned. But
Yes,
we decided to take a plunge to create our own temperature control. So
much better than a cup of coffee.
that's right. Yeah,
If you've
yeah.
never done an ice cold plunge, especially if you have any feelings of depression or if you're in a low mood, I promise you're not going to feel that way. If you go in a cold plunge,
Yeah.
in an ice cold plunge, you're going to feel great. You're going to feel amazing.
Did you think I was joking when I texted you and said I'm gonna go in the
I
plunge
didn't think you
before
were.
we start?
No, I didn't think you were serious.
Yeah.
But I know you're a little crazy like me, so I'm like, hey, maybe he's telling the truth.
Yeah, man.
And I had a cup of coffee before I came,
Yeah.
but it does not compare whatsoever to going in the ice cold plunge I did 3 minutes. What did you do? 5
3?
minutes?
No, I did 3.
Okay.
I did a bit over 3. Yeah.
It was amazing. Even though it's hot and it's summertime, I was still shivering when I came out. I still feel cold. I'm still cold. But it feels great. I feel amazing.
Excuse me while I choke on my own
Yes, sir.
ice water. All right. But yeah, so I got the cold plunge right over there in the corner of the studio here.
Yeah.
So to combat sitting in a hot room,
Yeah.
we dropped our core temperature significantly because that water
Yes, sir.
sits at a nice cool 30. Oh my goodness, 37 degrees at all times.
37 degrees. Amazing. I was telling you, I've been doing the contrast at another location, going from cold therapy, hot therapy, and it's amazing. It activates the vagus nerve, which connects from your gut to your brain, and you just feel amazing. It helps with digestion, blood circulation, blood flow, releasing endorphins. You just feel amazing. I feel like I'm born again.
Yeah.
When I do that, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
I feel great. Yeah.
In the morning, sometimes what I'll do, because I really, really, really really don't like getting in my cold plunge first thing in the morning, but I do anyway because I always do things I don't like doing.
That's what builds character. That's what builds resilience.
Yeah.
Doing things you don't want to do, and it makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Sharpens up the mind.
That's right. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll go take a piping hot shower just for like 2 minutes. Just like piping hot for 2 minutes before I get in my cold plunge, and it makes it suck just a little bit less.
Yeah, that's what I do every morning. In my morning routine, I start with a hot shower, feel great, relax the muscles, and then I transition, take the cold shower.
Yeah.
And then I come out feeling great because going from hot to cold, that contrast, and then it also activates the brown fat cells in your body, which is good for digestion and burning fat as well. So many great health benefits to that.
So many things, and people just don't want to do it, right? They're like, oh, it's uncomfortable, I don't want to do it, and they don't do it, but they're missing out. It's such an easy hack. Like, everyone's got a shower.
Especially going from that hot and ending with the cold.
Yeah.
It feels great, and then you feel awake.
Yep.
You're wide awake, you're ready to conquer the day.
Actually, what's kind of fun is I'm beta testing. I've got a 10-week wellness transformation program that I put together, and it's like an online program, and I'm beta testing it right now. I have 6 people that are testing it.
Awesome.
3 of them are just finishing up week 7 right now, and 3 of them are just finishing up week 1 right now.
That's awesome. I didn't even know. What does it consist of?
Yeah, it's wellness stuff. So it's cold showers cold plunge if you got access, or just cold showers. It's movement. It's observing an eating window. It's preparing your body for sleep. It's preparing your body for the day in the morning, doing things like observing morning light, doing some gratitude practices.
Awesome.
A little bit of fitness, but not really. It's not a fitness program, but there's a little bit of fitness. It's not a nutrition program, but there's a little bit of nutrition.
Okay.
Is
it like a daily checklist?
Yeah.
Like every day they have a checklist where I did my cold plunge, or I did my this and that.
Yeah, it's progressive. So week 1, it starts out pretty simple with only 6 things. And then those things kind of like you build on those week by week. So it's a little bit more and a little bit more, right? I think the cold shower starts out at like 20 or 30 seconds. So like, as much as people hate it and they're like, this is going to be awful and I don't want to do it, anyone can take a cold shower for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then we build on it, right? So by the end of week 10, it's like, I forget, 3 or 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then at week 5, I add in a bunch more things that kind of build into the first bunch of things. So week by week, it looks a little bit different.
That's awesome.
And then halfway through it, like, it's a lot different from the first half. But yeah, I have, so some of these people, like, they were pretty like unhappy about doing the cold showers on the front end. And I actually had one of them tell me the other day, like, she's like, I actually enjoyed my cold shower this morning.
That's
like,
great.
That's amazing. Like, welcome to your new lifestyle.
Yeah, it feels good. And what's strange? Sometimes when I take cold showers in the morning, something is activated in my brain, and I have childhood memories.
Really?
Like things that I didn't think of for a really long time.
Yeah.
Or memories from childhood. It's strange. It pops up. I don't know, something about the cold water stimulates or activates parts of my brain that and bringing back memories of things from childhood that I haven't thought of in so long. It's interesting how that works.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
I do not have that experience, but that's really interesting. Yeah,
everybody has a different experience. Teach his own, but I've experienced that a lot. It's crazy.
I do breath work while I'm doing mine, so it's for me it's a lot of counting. I'm just counting while I'm in there.
Yeah, and I've been incorporating the deep breath work in my morning routine when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
When I'm tired and I don't want to do anything, and I wake up and I start with breath work.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the Wim Hof.
Yeah. You were telling me that, so might as well talk about it here on the podcast. So I have limited understanding of Wim Hof method. I remember I watched a podcast where Wim Hof was on Rogan. He talked Rogan through like doing some breath work. So like I saw that, but I don't really know like what is intro Wim Hof breath work. What does that look like?
Well, there's an application that you can download on your phone, and there's a beginner's level where you can start off, and it's a guided breath work where you do deep breathing, and then you can make the setting to what you want, like breathing in and out for like 35 seconds. Then you hold your breath for you start off with like a minute, and then you release it. And I swear the first time I did it, afterwards, I felt like I was high.
Really?
Like I felt like a different person. I felt amazing.
Wow.
So since then, I do it every morning. And in the application, in the phone application, it guides you through deep breathing and then also taking a cold shower. So it combines both the cold therapy and the deep breath work.
Yeah.
And then you can combine them both together when you take a cold shower. It's just it's a free application that you can download on your phone. And I've been incorporating it in my morning routine to start the day off. Also with meditation, is just getting myself in a good mindset, a positive mindset before I start my day. It's a game changing for me. Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
My breath work that I do when I'm in the plunge is 7-second inhale, 8-second hold, 7-second exhale, 8-second hold.
Yeah.
So like 30 seconds for one breath, basically.
Yeah.
So 2 breaths per minute. So if I'm in there for 5 minutes, 10 breaths in 5 minutes. So it's just kind of a lot of like limiting that oxygen intake.
Yeah, and doing breath work, especially when you're in the cold plunge, to me, I think it's like essential.
Oh, yeah.
Because the first time I went in the cold plunge, I didn't do breath work.
Yeah.
So my focus and attention was just, damn, I'm cold and it's painful.
Yeah.
And when am I going to get out of here? I need to get the hell out of here and freeze. But if you focus on your breathing and you're the one who's in control, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
Deep breath work with the cold plunging, it's a game changer. Yeah.
By the way, folks, Jackson is now at the top of the leaderboard for podcast guests that I've got to go into the cold plunge. The first 2 are only 20 seconds each. And Jackson did 3 minutes today.
Well, if you're going to do 3, I'm going to do 3. If you did 5, I'm going to do 5. I have to match it.
I should have stayed in for 10.
Then I'm going to stay in for 10.
10's my record. You know what? After like 4 minutes, like it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, I just kind of like, I'm numb enough. It's just kind of like after like getting close to like 6, 7, 8 minutes, it gets kind of boring. But
But
yeah, it's I do have to like move around, agitate it, so I don't build up that thermal layer too much. So I make sure I keep maximum suffering.
Well, what I've been doing, as I told you, is I go to a place where I do 10 minutes in infrared sauna. Yeah. It's like 160 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'll do 3 minutes cold plunge. Yeah. And then I go back and forth for 1 hour.
A whole hour?
For 1 hour.
Wow. Yeah. How many is that?
I don't even know.
5?
Something like that. Yeah, back and forth. 10 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes.
Maybe like 4 times.
Yeah, something like that. And I feel great after.
I bet you do.
I feel great. Yeah. So I try to do that just
a couple times a month.
Yeah, I need it for recovery.
Like, not to mention just the benefits to like your circulation, your immune system, like hormones, but just like muscle recovery too.
Everything. It's just it's perfect for recovery.
Yeah.
Recovery in all aspects. Recover your body, recover your mind.
Yeah.
Blood circulation. I think it just covers all aspects of health: mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional health. Yeah. It's just it's a great self-care activity that really activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It's it's key for health. It's really good.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love when I find people that are as crazy as me. I'm going to move on from talking about the cold plunge, even though I can talk about cold plunging all day long.
Talk about it all day. Seriously.
All right. So tell us about what you do professionally.
To keep it simple, I coach in holistic health and wellness, and I'm a personal self-defense instructor.
All right. Awesome. And for those of you that did not or are not going to watch the video that I did with Jackson before, our 20-second backstory is Jackson and I met in Israel at Ron Engelman's Krav Maga Israel instructor training course. So we happen to both be local here to the Los Angeles area, but we actually met across the world in Israel. But because we are local, we've kept our friendship and our collaboration going here locally. So we've been We've been
Was
in
that
each other's
2019?
circle since March of 2022,
Oh, 22.
according to the certificate
Yeah.
right here that I got when we completed that course.
Oh,
So
just
it's
a couple years.
a couple years, yeah. All right, so two different things that you do. So holistic health and wellness. What do you work on with clients in that realm?
So I have a couple different programs. I have a holistic health program, which is called Straight to the Root, which focuses on going to the root cause of your health problem.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because a lot of times when somebody, for example, somebody has a headache or they're tired, they just take a pill
Yeah.
or something like that, a quick fix to help you with your problem. But if somebody has chronic fatigue or headaches all the time and is not feeling good, I want to dig down to the root cause. Why do you feel that way?
Yeah.
And it could be different reasons. Maybe you might be dehydrated. You're not drinking enough water. You're not staying hydrated, drinking water with the electrolytes.
Right.
Or it could be you're not satisfied in your career. You're not happy in your job. Or it could be that maybe you're in a bad relationship. If you're in a toxic relationship, you're going to feel tired and getting headaches all the time. So I want to get down and dig down to the root cause of why you feel the way you feel and your health problem. And I want to help you with that, whatever your goal may be.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I believe in looking at health holistically.
Yeah.
Mental health, physical health, spiritual health, and emotional health. I believe that they're all interconnected together. If you neglect one aspect, it's going to affect another aspect of your health.
Yeah.
Right? They're all connected together. And what I like to say is that, you can eat all the healthy, organic food in the world, the cleanest food in the world, and exercise all day. But if you're in a toxic relationship and you're constantly under stress, it's going to affect your health. It's going to affect your physical health, maybe getting headaches. It's affecting your gut health. You feel sick. You feel tired. So even though you're eating, broccoli and kale all day or whatever diet you're on and you're eating the healthiest food in the world, but if you're not taking care of your relationship, if you're not taking care of other aspects of your life, it's going to affect you in all ways.
Yeah.
So that's what holistic health does. We focus on all aspects of health.
Okay.
So I like to help my clients, depending on what your goal is, we focus on what is lacking and what can I do to help facilitate with your health and wellness goals.
That's really interesting. That's quite the breadth. And actually, we talked about how we kind of have put ourselves on a similar trajectory here, right? Starting in like self-defense and then moving into fitness and then moving into like kind of wellness. And like for me, it was a similar thing where I realized as people, my self-defense clients were then approaching me for fitness, but then for fitness, I realized that like if they didn't have all of these other things dialed, like it didn't really matter how much I made them work out. Like
100%.
Like, maybe we'd make some progress on their body composition, maybe not, but they weren't going to be happy per se. They weren't necessarily going to be as healthy as they could be if they didn't figure out these other things.
Exactly. And just to add on to that, when it comes to we need to feel that we're being nourished and fueled. And the way that we are nourished and fueled is through food. But I like to take a look at food in two categories. You have your primary food and you have your secondary food.
Okay. And
primary food basically means anything that fuels you or nourishes you off the plate. And I'm talking about your relationships, your career, your finances, your physical activities. That's all the food that
spiritual and emotional fuel.
Yeah, exactly. That feeds you off the plate. Secondary food is actually the physical food that you eat on your plate. So I like to take a look at both. Not just what you're eating and how you're eating, but also your primary food, which is everything else in your life.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at everything as a whole.
Yeah.
So that we can build to create the best, higher version of ourselves. Not just going to the gym. Not just, okay, let's incorporate eating better food. Let's take a look at everything as a whole, see what we're lacking, and let's build on that.
Yeah.
Step by step.
Nice.
That's what I believe.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it a lot. And actually funny, it just made me think of something. So you said straight to the root is what you call it.
Yes.
And I had a podcast guest recently, Kristan Kershaw out of Australia, and we talked all about minerals and stuff. And actually, she has two businesses that she's a part of. One of them is actually she teaches something called the root cause protocol, which is where she's teaching doctors and healthcare professionals a protocol around mineral imbalances and how that does impact people in all kinds of different ways beyond like what you would think of, right? And you happen to mention like hydration and electrolytes as like just one of the kind of basic things that you look at. So it made me think of that.
Yeah, I see now doctors are getting trained in functional health, and they're becoming functional doctors, which is incorporating, Western medicine, but also taking a holistic approach and dealing with health in a natural way as well. Which is important because I believe a lot of doctors, when they go to school, in medical school, they don't study and they don't train in nutrition and the food that we eat. So it's very important when you take a look at, when you dive deep into the root cause of why people have these symptoms, instead of just treating the symptom, which is what most doctors do. Let's take a look at the root cause. Why do you feel this way in the first place? Where is that coming from? Let's heal that at the root. Before you start taking all these pills and medications and things.
Do you ever talk to doctors, not like as your doctor, but just as someone that is a doctor about any of this stuff?
I have. I've spoken to some doctors, but some are open-minded and they are studying on their own. But also a lot of them, unfortunately, are kind of robotic. They just go by the book, and this is how I was taught, this is how I was raised, and they're fixed on what they learn in medical school. So, I mean, everybody's different. Some are going to be open and flexible and understand and spend time to invest in understanding more of a holistic way of thinking, and some are going to be stuck. That's how everybody is. So
it's interesting. So I've had some of my private clients have been doctors, and a lot of the stuff that I start coaching them on, and this is where I had like a huge aha. Is like, I'll be like, okay, I want you to do this with your nutrition or this with your lifestyle, and I'll be like, you probably already know this from medical school. And they'll be like, no, we don't know anything about this, or yes, we covered that in like a paragraph in some like 1,000-page textbook, and then never did anything with it after that. So it's the stereotype is it's your standard doctor, they learn about sick care, they don't learn about health care.
100%.
And I had another guy on the show, Dr. Charles Glassman. He calls himself Coach MD, which I really like because he was just your run-of-the-mill like general practitioner. And then he kind of went into concierge practice, and then he really like delved into the world of becoming more open-minded, and he doesn't practice anymore. But now he takes a holistic approach, and he has the conversation about like what is the standard, medical training and profession look like versus, what could it be if it was really, really good. So that was kind of fun. He was on my podcast. He has a podcast, a Coach MD podcast. So we had a couple of conversations. Actually, you might be an interesting guest for him to talk to on his podcast.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it was fun just to talk to someone that went through all that, but then has like seen the other side too.
Right. And you know what? I think it's really important not to be fixed in anything, because we're constantly evolving. And we have to be open to new ideas, especially when it comes to progressing and evolving to get better. We can't just be fixed in, I was taught this way, I was raised this way. We can never progress and move forward. We have to be open to learn and develop and expand. So we're always evolving. The way I think now may be different than the way I think next week. We have to be open to learn and develop.
Right? Absolutely.
Exactly.
And like we've both kind of admitted, our own focus has changed, right? You start out from like, okay, self-defense. I've been a martial artist for a long time. I'm good at this. People want me to give them some training, so I'll do that.
And
it evolves. As
much as I am still passionate about teaching people how to protect themselves, and I still do that. And I also still do it, and I'm also in the process of creating an online program where I'm teaching self-defense, like kind of a human weapon course online program, and a situational awareness program, my threat detective program.
I'll be really interested in that one. Like I'm really curious, like how you approach that with online training.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just in the process of recording these videos and creating this program and a video library, so I can so people can have access to that as well. Because I do believe that everybody should learn some basic way of protecting themselves. You don't have to spend years becoming you don't have to become a black belt, but at least learn basics of self-defense. You should be able to protect yourself and loved ones. You should invest some time to do that.
Yeah,
I believe this.
Yeah. Actually, I want to talk about that. So, like, what does it mean to you to be an asset? And, you know, fundamentally, like a parent is an asset to their child, right? Because the child relies on the parent to help them make decisions, to protect them if they're, you know, at risk of injuring themselves. But as an adult amongst adults, what does it mean to be an asset amongst like the circle of people that you're within, whether it's family, friends, you know, at work, whatever?
Well, the first word that came to my mind when you said to be an asset is what value can I bring to the table? Being valuable. What can I do to be of service? What can I do to help? What can I do to bring value to your life? So, and that comes down to personal development. I believe that if we're focusing on personal developing ourselves and building the best version of ourselves, then we become an asset, not only to ourselves and our health, but also to anybody who's in our circle.
Yeah.
Right. So in a simple way, the best way to be an asset or valuable to others is by focusing on building the best version of yourself, whatever that may be, to each his own.
Yeah.
Right? There's not just one way or cookie cutter approach.
Right.
But personal development and focusing on building ourselves up in all ways is the first priority to be able to be an asset or valuable to others.
So creating yourself in a way that gives you something to contribute.
Yeah. What can I do to contribute, right? It's not just about me. It's not just about you. What can I do to be of service to everybody around me? But first, we need to focus on building ourselves. That's number one.
Yeah.
We have to do things that serve us to build the best version of ourselves so we can be in an optimal mental, physical, spiritual state. And then when you build yourself, then what can I do to help others around me?
Yeah.
What can I do to be of service, you know, to build others around me as well? You know, we first must go through our own transformation process, mind, body, spirit, in order to help someone else. We can't help somebody else if we don't do it for ourselves first.
Yeah.
Right? Can't jump. If you don't know how to swim, you're not going to jump in the ocean and save somebody. You're both going to drown.
Yeah.
So you have to save yourself first and transform first before you can help somebody else.
I find it very interesting that you say you focus on in order to be an asset to others, you start with yourself.
You have to.
That's one of the things that I end up coaching people on, right? Like I've started in fitness, then I became like more of a wellness coach, but I'm almost like a life coach because sometimes I have to I have to sell people on the acceptance that taking time for themselves can be done in service of other people. Like it's not selfish to take time to care for yourself, because the more you care for yourself, the better you can show up for everyone else. And I you know, I'm a parent, right? I got 2 little kids, and I think about that for myself, right? I wake up early every day before anyone else in the house wakes up. And I do this so that I have my me time, right? That's the only Drew time that I get. And it is important to me, and I do it for myself.
Yeah.
But I also do it because I want to be able to show up better for everyone else. And I've told this to my wife. Part of the reason, like, I always wake up is, unless there's like some anomaly and the kids wake up like unexpectedly early, I always wake up before the kids, because I am a better parent in the morning if I am not crawling out of bed and going right into parenting.
Exactly.
Like if I have time to like get my own head in the game and like do the things I need to do to like to wake up and get myself pumped up for the day, I show up much better for everyone else.
100%. And I agree with you 100%. And that's the same mindset that I've carried, and that exactly the reason why I do the same. Because my philosophy is I need to wake up early so I can build myself, take care of myself first. I have my morning process, my morning routine, everything I do to get my mind ready to serve myself. And when I do that, then I can be in a better mental space to be able to be of service to anybody else.
Yeah.
But I have to do it first thing in the morning before when everybody is sleeping.
Yeah.
Because if I did it later, things come up in life, obstacles, there's things that block the way. So first in the morning, knock it out, serve yourself, and then be able to be of service to everybody else. Right? Yeah. It's the best time. Yeah.
One school of thought that I keep hearing, and it sounds kind of ruthless, but I also kind of get it, is when you're creating your sphere of people that you're surrounding yourself with, you have to ask the question, like, what good is this person to me? Because you run the risk of surrounding yourself with people that are taking and taking and taking, but not giving. So, even if it's just like, this person makes me laugh a lot and I'm happy when I'm with them, like, that's cool. Or this person is really smart, and when I share my, maybe thoughts or business ideas or whatever, like they're a great sounding board. Or this person's like a phenomenal parent, and like they inspire me to be a better parent to my children, or whatever. Like, it doesn't mean they have to like give you things, but that you should be able to take something from the relationship, and you're not just giving and they're not just sucking from you.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's an ideal relationship.
Yeah,
is when both are thinking about how to give. What can I do to give? But not everybody thinks that way.
Right.
A lot of people they want to receive. They want to take.
Yeah.
So aligning yourself with people who have a similar mentality as you is key.
Yeah.
It's how we interact and build our circles with people who are like-minded, who are in alignment with, and not being with somebody who just wants to take and receive.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I listened to Bedros Keuilian's podcast. I've read his book. I know that you've been out and done his in-person program, and one of the things that he says, like, on repeat on his podcast, is like, as you're creating the 2.0 version of yourself, you have to surround yourself with the 2.0 version of the people. Like, you might have to like say goodbye to people that have been in your life forever if they're just holding you back. If they're like, I want you to keep being the person you've always been, even though you're working on this upgrade. If they're fighting against your upgrade, then you just have to let them go, which, it's brutal, but I can't argue with that.
I agree. It's challenging to do it sometimes, but we must set boundaries.
Yeah.
We have to set boundaries with people that we have a relationship with. If you don't set boundaries, people are going to step over that boundary, and then it's going to cause conflict and tension.
Yeah.
It's essential that we establish these boundaries and that we have with people, and let them know what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate. We have to put our foot down sometimes to do that.
Yeah. So if you have a client that's approaching you, well, actually, let me ask you, aside from the self-defense stuff, so if someone's coming to you for like fitness or whatever, like how is it that people find you, and what would you say is the most common thing people are looking for?
I was going to say, one thing I forgot to mention, and one of the most common things that people are looking for is fat loss.
Yeah.
So I do have a program specifically for people who just want to lose fat and build muscle, which is called my Chop and Build program.
Okay.
Which means chop the fat, build muscle.
Yeah.
So a lot of my clients, they're specifically looking to lose weight. They want to lose fat. And I will help them on this program to chop fat and build muscle.
Okay.
Which consists of, it's a disciplined program, obviously, when it comes to food and tracking I calculate their macronutrients.
Yeah.
And we track the macronutrients and then combine that with hypertrophy training
Yeah.
at the gym and weightlifting and resistance training, and that's how we'll chop fat and build muscle.
Hypertrophy, for those that don't know that word, is simply muscle growth. So that's when you stress your muscle out to the point of growth.
Got to tear that muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just go through the motion.
Yeah.
Really focus on the mind-body connection and tearing that muscle.
Not doing 40 reps of an easy movement, but doing 12 reps of a really hard movement.
Exactly. I mean, this is the way. The most challenging thing for most people, the average person, is food, of course.
Yeah.
And
me too.
Tracking.
I'm disciplined,
all
but
of
me
us,
too.
All of us, is focusing on what you're eating and how much you're eating.
Yeah.
And tracking your macronutrients for a short time, a month or two, is a great way to discipline yourself to see how much are you eating in a day. You might be surprised that you're eating way too many calories in a day, right? And also you keep track of what you're eating and how much you're eating. It's a great way to discipline yourself, and then it's also going to help with your metabolism and losing weight if that's what your goal is, to lose weight.
Yeah.
I like to keep things very simple.
Yeah.
All my programs, I always try to find the most simple method of operating. I don't like things to be complex. I don't like too much. Let's just keep things simple. That's how I operate. Simple.
So for your in-person clients, do you prescribe like home workouts as well, or is it mostly they're working out with you in person?
For that program?
Yeah.
Some clients will do in person.
Yeah.
And I have a couple clients where I'll go to their house and we lift weights in the backyard. They have weights and I help them. I'll do personal training with them.
That's like the VIP version though. Huh?
That's like personal VIP access.
Yeah.
100%. Or I'll just set up a simple online program. I use a couple applications, free applications on the phone, and then we can track like through my FitnessPal.
Yeah.
And then I use Trainerize, and then we'll sync the two together.
Yeah.
And I'll create an online fitness program on that. Very easy. And then there's even videos to show how to do the workout. And I'll set up video workout and go to the gym and knock it out.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so one of the biggest obstacles that a lot of people have, and the reason that they seek a personal trainer, is accountability. So
it's number one.
Yeah.
Accountability. Accountability is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know someone's on you, it's different. And even as a coach, I have a couple of coaches. I have mentors. Coaches need coaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really important that when we need help, sometimes we cannot do it ourselves, or the most common problem is I don't know where to start. And I know what I need to do. But I don't know how to begin.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to implement this in my life. That's why you get a coach. Hire a coach that you resonate with, and that coach is supposed to help you incorporate healthier habits or how to start, and then that accountability takes place, which is essential.
Yeah.
Then you feel, oh, someone's on me. I need to get this done, to the point where then you feel confident after a while. Now I'm doing it for myself, and then it becomes your lifestyle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one. When I have clients that come to me like as a pair, I find that I actually have more success with some of those people because they keep each other accountable in addition to me keeping them accountable. Yeah. Particularly when one of them has maybe a stronger personality.
That's why it's important. What I do with my clients is we'll have, of course, I'll have like question and answer.
Yeah.
You have access. You can ask me questions throughout the week, and then we'll do like a weekly Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Depending on what program I have my holistic health program, Straight to the Root. We'll meet twice a month. I have a 3-month program and a 6-month program.
Okay.
And we'll just meet 2 times a month through a Zoom meeting. But then I give you homework, and I have handouts, and I have checklists, and I have things to help you get on track.
Yeah.
Self-defense program is either going to be in person, or I'm building that online video program where people have access to that as well. And I want to make it to be on the phone, so you can just have direct access through like a phone application.
Yeah.
And then and Chop and Build program is a fat loss program online and in person as well.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but it's important that we have communication with our coaches and accountability, and we take it day by day.
Yeah.
Stack up those wins.
So I think we can agree that everyone should be fit and healthy. Like, just for yourself, like, everyone should be fit and healthy. Like, if you want to live a long life and not be on medications and not be at risk of all kinds of things as you age, everyone should just be fit and healthy. Like, that's kind of that should be a standard. It's not, but it should be.
Exactly. I mean, if you view your body as a vessel or like a vehicle, like think of your car. Imagine you drive the same car all your life and you never did anything to maintain it.
Right.
You never got an oil change. You never fixed and repaired anything.
Yeah.
How long is that car going to run? What's going to happen eventually?
Yeah.
You pop a tire, you never fixed it. You never got an oil change. Eventually that car is going to what? Break down.
Yeah.
In the same way, our body is like a vehicle. If we don't do anything to maintain it, if we don't focus on building our body and our health, eventually it's going to break down through a disease or some health problem and condition.
Injury.
Exactly.
Yep.
So if you view it in that perspective, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Depends on how you see it. But think, man, this is your body. This is your temple. This is what's going to carry you to the end.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything to build it up. No exercise, not eating healthy. You just treat it however. Not only are you affecting yourself, you're also affecting the people that care about you and love you. Because let's say, God forbid, something does happen and you need to go to the hospital because you have some disease. Not only you put yourself in a terrible situation, what about everybody who loves you and cares about you? Then they're sad and they have to stop their way of life to come accommodate to you and all this. So it's selfish. If you neglect yourself, what about those who love you and your family? You're also putting that on them. Yeah. So it's important that you look at it, this is not just about you. It's about everyone that you have brought into your life as well.
Yeah.
It's important that we take care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, not just one aspect.
Right.
Just like I spoke about earlier, we can eat all the healthiest organic food. You can go buy grass-fed steak and organic chicken with no hormones and antibiotics and fruits and vegetables that are organic and all that. But if you don't manage your stress level, if you feel terrible in your career, or if you're in a horrible relationship, you're still, I met many people like that. They have gut problems and they have acne and all this. They're constantly stressed out because they neglected those areas of their life.
Yeah.
It's all together. We have to focus on all areas of our life and our health. Health has to be looked at overall, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we agree on that.
100%.
It's important to take care of yourself, to be fit and healthy.
Yeah.
Within your scope of control. So how important do you think it is for an average person to have some fundamental self-defense or combat skills?
I think to me, it's essential.
Okay.
Especially in the time that we live in. It depends where you live.
Yeah.
We live in Los Angeles, honestly, it doesn't matter where you live. I think it's just important that you learn some basic self-defense skills. Yeah. Because there are bad people in this world. There's predators out there. There's people with evil intentions. And if you cross paths with them and you don't know any kind of self-defense skills, then what's going to happen?
Yeah. You
get injured, hurt. What if you're with your family?
Right. Hope for the best is not a solid plan.
No. We have to stay ready.
Yeah.
You got to be ready at all times.
And that's something I preach a lot, especially when it comes to like women's self-defense. And I have a hell of a time getting women to come in and take a self-defense class. But fundamental skills, or if nothing else, just one, awareness of the threats that are out there, and two, situational awareness, as you're talking about, just knowing the situations that you're putting yourself in when you go to different places, like are
100%
key. And a lot of people just don't have that. Yeah.
To me, number one is situational awareness. And number one is to be proactive. Before you even learn self-defense, be proactive mentally. wherever you go, be aware of your surroundings,
Yeah.
be aware of the people and their behavior, right? When a lot of attacks happen in those transitional periods. What I mean by transitional period is when you're walking from, let's say, the grocery store to your car, or from the car to the grocery store. There are people out there maybe sitting inside another car watching for the people who look weak or who look unaware and vulnerable, especially on the cell phone.
Yeah.
People are coming out the store. They're not looking up. They're looking down, staring at the cell phone on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
These are the people that are victims. These are the people that get attacked because you're not aware of what's going on around you. And there's people watching,
Yeah.
looking for their targets. So it's important that when you're in that transitional space, when you come out the car and you're going someplace, be aware. Look at your phone later.
Yeah.
Look at the people. Look at the behaviors of the people. They'll become a victim.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, I recall one thing that when we were in Israel, one thing that Ron
Yeah.
said to us is, it's instructor training, right? So he's teaching
Yeah.
us how to teach.
Exactly.
And we're going through curriculum as well because we have to know how to teach the curriculum.
Yeah.
But one of the comments he made was this is not for you, right? This is for your students
Okay.
because you're at a point where nobody's going to mess with you because you've learned situational awareness and you've learned how to carry yourself. So you will not
Yeah.
be chosen as a victim. Someone looking for a victim is not going to choose someone that shows up at Krav Maga advanced instructor training.
No, of course
Because we're just, you get to a point where you carry yourself in a way that says, I can take care of myself and I know what's going on around me.
And isn't that the whole objective? The whole objective is to be able to walk in confidence.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk out every day and be paranoid and look after my shoulder. None of us do.
Yeah.
We want to be able to walk with confidence, have a confident demeanor. And when other people see that, they feel that energy. They feed off that energy that this is a confident person. He's not feeble. She's not feeble. She's not weak, looking down.
Yeah.
This person is strong, walks with confidence. Criminals are looking for the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
They're not going to come after somebody who appears to be confident and walking, looking around.
Right.
They're going to go after the person who looks weak, who's looking down. That's what they do.
Yeah, actually. So, and I think there's a progress to that, right? I think people need to train.
Yes.
Just if nothing else, to train their own awareness of the fact that these types of attacks happen and that there are things you can do to mitigate damage in the event of this whatever type of attack, right? A mugging, domestic violence, whatever. So I think one is train, and with training, you got to get your reps in to be good at it. Even doing something once though is better than not doing it at all, right? Because then you at least you have awareness that there is something that you can do.
Exactly.
But then once you get enough reps, that's when you start to build that confidence and that persona of this is now who I am. I am now someone that knows I can take care of myself.
Exactly.
But in that regard, in the interest of just learning something, even if you don't have your reps, even if you haven't built that confidence, even if someone might still pick you up as a victim, it can still save lives. Like, can you talk about what you just saw earlier? Like one of your clients told you about earlier?
Exactly. Well, that repetition is so important because repetition builds that muscle memory.
Yeah.
So I had a client and we had been training Krav Maga for just a few months, maybe like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. So some reps, but it's not like years deep.
Getting repetition. And the first couple of months when I'm training with the client, the very first thing that we focus in training, besides situational awareness and threat detection, is we start with striking and defense against striking. Then we go into grappling and ground grappling and weapons, but we do striking. So we're repeating how to throw a proper punch, and palm strike, straight punches. We're doing striking. Yeah. And we're repeating it over and over. So my client, she was walking and it was an underground parking lot. She was going to her car and a man came up behind her to try to rob her or attack her. I don't know what his intention was, trying to attack her or rob her. And as she was going to the car, he ran up right behind her. And as he reached to grab her shoulder, she looked back and the first reaction, as we've been training, put his hand on the shoulder, boom. her reaction quickly was to strike, and she punched him right in the nose, and I believe broke his nose, started gushing blood, and he started crying. He was crying and he was bleeding, and then she got out of
Good.
it, and she ran out.
Yeah.
But amazing, that was her reaction. Imagine if she didn't train,
Yeah,
and most
untrained.
people, when they're in that kind of situation, they freeze.
Right.
They're scared. So that training is essential, because instead of freezing up, I don't want you to freeze up.
Yeah.
I want you to react. I want you to fight or take flight.
Yeah.
And she reacted quickly because of the training.
She fought, and then
she
then
hit
flew.
him. It only took one hit.
Yeah.
One punch in the nose, bleeding and crying like a baby, and she was able to get out of there, and thank God.
I mean, it sucks that your client got attacked, but that's a beautiful story.
Exactly.
And it's amazing, right?
And that's the point of the training.
Yeah,
so
that's the point.
The worst thing you do when getting attacked is freeze and do nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's either you're going to run away, if you're able to run away, or you're going to fight it out.
Yeah.
Neutralize the threat, the degree of the threat, whatever it is. Stop them from hurting you, and then get out.
Yeah.
Right?
So I see 2 points of validation here, folks. So one is training, even for just a few months, can make a possibly life-changing difference. And, And two, Jackson must be a good instructor, because obviously it worked.
She's been putting in the work. So I give all credit to my clients.
Yeah, that's amazing. And just fundamentals. Everyone should have fundamentals. Not everyone needs to be a black belt. Not everyone needs to have advanced tactical skills.
No, it's all about fundamentals.
Yeah.
Mastering fundamentals. Everybody's so concerned about learning everything and all the cool. There's no cool moves. It's just basics, fundamentals. That's what's going to save your life.
I got some cool moves. I'll show you some cool moves right now.
That's right. Show me.
I'll just make them up. Sometimes I run a drill in Krav.
Yeah.
I call it the Hollywood drill, where I make people come up with just like ridiculous, over the top maneuvers.
Yeah.
And it's really just to get their creative juices flowing. That's all it's for. It's to kind of instigate creativity, because a lot of time people limit themselves to doing things exactly the way we teach them.
Yeah.
Which is great, because when we teach them, we want to see them done the way that we teach them.
Yeah.
But every threat situation has to be completely dynamic. You have to be able to pivot and adjust in the split second. And I want people to also be experienced in exercising creativity when it comes to this type of thing.
Oh yeah, 100%, definitely.
How important do you think it is for an average person to have training, or at least familiarity with weapons? And I say common weapons that might be used in assault, such as a knife or a pistol.
Are you talking about defending against weapons or using weapons for
just let's just say familiarity. Someone, should everyone at least have like held a pistol that lives in the United States of America?
Yeah, I was going to say, so what you said is important. In the United States?
Yeah.
Yes, because it depends where you go.
Of course.
Right? So in the United States, yes, 100%, because we live in a country where many people have guns.
Yeah.
Most people have guns. So if the bad guys have guns and they're walking around with bad intentions, then what about the good guys? As good people, it is our responsibility to be able to protect ourselves and our family. Mm-hmm. So we can't just say, well, I don't believe in guns, because God forbid if the day came where bad guys came and invaded your house, and you have your family in the house and your wife and your children, but you said, well, I don't believe in guns, and they have guns and they're trying to take your wife, or rape your wife, or abduct your children. Are you going to say at that moment, well, I don't believe in guns?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're going to take the gun and you're going to shoot him, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important, especially in our climate of what's going on in our society. People just don't care anymore, and people are running around with guns and doing whatever they want. I think it's important that us as good people take responsibility in our own hands to do some kind of weapons training.
Yeah.
Basic shooting, just knowing how to shoot a handgun.
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
How to load it, clear a malfunction, pull the trigger.
Exactly. Safety first,
Yeah.
of course. Learn your safety rules. but I think it's important that everybody does it.
Yeah.
Especially in this country. And again, it may not apply to other people in other countries. Depends on the situation. It depends where you live. But I think living here in the U.S., I think it's very important that everybody learn how to shoot a gun.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm of the opinion that people should be familiar with whatever the threats are of, the place that they are in.
Depends on your environment.
So
Depends
if
where
you're in
you
an environment
are.
where people get attacked by machetes or some shit, then you should be familiar with how to work your way around a long bladed weapon.
Exactly.
If it's, stabbings, if it's just, we're going back in Australia and it's the king punch. Okay, we'll learn how to like see and react to a right cross coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, but look at what's going on when you take a look at the news, even in areas like Beverly Hills or in Brentwood and Bel Air. Like, I'm hearing of home invasions. They're becoming more frequent. Home invasions. So people are hiring security in these areas where it's not common, where there's home invasions. So people are getting bold, and you see it all over the country. Like home invasions, or people are getting attacked with weapons, not carrying anymore. So look at the situation. So what do you think? Do you think it's important that we don't do anything to prepare ourselves and not learn how to use a gun? Then you're just going to set yourself up to be a victim in your family.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live that way.
Right.
And most of my clients who come up to me, they don't want to live that way anymore. They don't. One of my philosophies is victims don't exist here. We're not going to be a victim. In our training, there's no victims that exist here.
Yeah.
We're going to walk with confidence. We're going to take care of our health. We're going to focus on building ourselves up in our family.
Yeah. You can be victimized by yourself as well as by other people, right?
Exactly.
Your own inaction or your own poor decisions.
Yeah. That's my brand, Sharpen Your Sword. So
yeah.
It's about, sharpening ourselves in all aspects. Sharpen your mind, sharpen your body, sharpen your spirit. Victims don't exist here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yes, sir.
So let's just say we got a person that they want to be better.
Yeah.
They got none of this.
Okay.
But they want to start. Aside from calling you up and saying, "Be
my coach,"
instead of okay. So,
okay.
If there's one thing an untrained person can do to get started, short of hiring a coach, what would you say is a good first step in the direction of progress?
To do what?
Of just becoming a healthier, better, more prepared person.
Go to the gym. Okay. Start there. Start very basic. If you don't have a gym membership, start going to the gym and exercising.
Yeah.
I guarantee once you start exercising, you're going to feel better because it releases endorphins. You're going to feel much better. Start incorporating eating real food. If you're eating a bunch of ultra processed foods all the time, start to focus on eating real food.
Yeah.
Right? Eating real food and going to the gym and exercising, just those two things in itself these are the very first fundamental steps to build your better self, and you're going to feel much better.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you get the endorphins from eating ultra processed food, right? They got that perfect crunch. They got that perfect sweet or saltiness to them.
100%.
They taste good. They got fun colors and pictures and shit on the packaging.
You can go on for a couple hours about the sugar and the business, how businesses put the perfect amount of sugar and all that in the food to get people addicted.
To be addictive, for sure.
Yeah, we can do a whole other podcast.
And there's science of that, people. That's not just us talking shit.
No, that's science. Yeah.
So I can eat this stuff. I can eat what do I love? Doritos. I could eat a whole bag of Cool Ranch Doritos.
Yeah.
And I will enjoy every single one of those Doritos, but I will feel like shit when I'm done.
You will. Yeah.
On the other hand, if I'm talking about if we're talking about caloric content of a whole bag of Doritos, I don't know how much real food that is, but that's a lot of real food. Or I could just eat some fruit and, I still get some sugar and some carbohydrates, but I also get some vitamins, some minerals, I get some nutritional value too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when we talk about eating real food, right? I could eat like some bread, which chances are your bread has sugar in it, or I could just go and, make some rice and have some rice instead.
Bro, if you go through the aisles in the grocery store
Yeah.
and you start picking up different condiments, ketchup, barbecue sauce, chips, almost everything.
Yeah.
And you look at the ingredients in the back, almost everything has sugar. They added some kind of sugar inside of it. Why? Because they want you to get addicted to their product,
Yep.
to continue to buy that product because it's a drug.
Yeah.
Sugar is a drug. Yeah.
I buy a lot of stuff from Primal Kitchen.
Yeah, I love Primal Kitchen.
Primal Kitchen's awesome.
Yeah.
They have
There's no sugar.
clean ingredients. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't use sugar, and they have like avocado mayo and avocado oil mayo and stuff. Like I actually I became an affiliate because
cool. I didn't even know that you can become
you can
an
do
affiliate.
that. So if you guys want to order from Primal Kitchen, they have very clean food. You can go to my website, primalwellnesscoaching.com, and there's an affiliate link on there.
When it comes to health and eating, that's another subject in itself. But I think that a lot of people do not know what does it mean to eat healthy.
Right.
Most people
Agreed.
They think eating Cheerios, the one that doesn't have any flavors.
Hey, it's part of a well-balanced breakfast.
Yeah, something like that.
Says General Mills.
Yeah, a lot of people have no idea what it means to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Or they think they're eating healthier. Even they go to the doctor who told them, well, just eat the Cheerios that doesn't have the sugar in it, the regular plain one.
Don't eat the honey one. Eat the regular Cheerios. But guess what? There's still sugar in it.
Yeah, so a lot of people are lacking knowledge
Yeah.
when it comes to what does it actually mean to eat healthy food? What does it mean to eat real food?
Yeah.
So that's another subject, and it's important to build your knowledge on that. What does it mean to eat real food and healthy food?
Yeah.
And that's, that in itself is a debate, and people have no idea what that means, or it means different things to different people.
Right. Yeah.
So it's important. So in our program, your program, my program, we're going to speak on that and help people, providing that kind of knowledge of how to incorporate wiser and healthier choices when it comes to your food.
Yep. Yeah, I've made some pretty drastic adjustments with my private clients in that world. And once people start to track what they eat, it becomes so much more apparent how much of what we eat is garbage. Like it's easy to not really get like, I'm gonna have a little bit of this right now, and maybe a little bit of this later, a little bit of this later, and all of a sudden over the course of the day, I ate like 15 things that I really didn't need to eat. I just ate them because they were there and because they were easy, and they were probably ultra processed crap. Yeah,
that, and even people are making a lot of money off. Even when you go to like Whole Foods, they say, "Oh, this product is gluten-free."
Yeah.
Just because it's gluten-free does not mean it's healthy.
Yeah, you can get a gluten-free donut.
Exactly.
A lot of healthy donut.
Yeah, but that's the mindset. A lot of people, they think, because they're unaware,
yeah,
oh, this product is gluten-free, it must be healthy.
Yeah.
No, and you take a look at those ingredients and all the other things that they put in there, it's not healthy at all. There's a lot of ultra-processed ingredients that they're putting in there. Just because it's gluten-free doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
And just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean it's healthy for you.
One thing I laugh at is when people talk about healthy desserts.
Yeah.
Like, chances are, if it's something that you can call a dessert, it's not healthy, even if it's keto or paleo or whatever.
Yeah, even the vegan stuff.
Yeah. Well,
people are under the impression
vegan. Sugar is vegan.
People are under the impression that it's vegan. It must be healthy.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. There's a lot of vegan products out there, and you look at the ingredients.
High fructose corn syrup is
terrible.
vegan.
It's terrible. So, we really need to. I believe it's really important to also be able to spread that knowledge to people and communities out there who don't have this kind of information. Even though we do have YouTube, but just people. I want to be able to be a voice to help people in communities have knowledge when it comes to nutrition and health, so they can make better choices.
Yeah,
a lot of people really just either they just don't know and ignorant to it, or they just don't care. Right. Oh, whatever, I'm going to die anyway.
Yeah, well, we can't do a lot for those people, and I'm not really bothered to do a lot for those people. But for the people that
if
actually
you
want to save themselves, then,
100%. It's a dichotomy of control. You know, you can only do what you're in control of. You can't focus if it's not under your control. Then you can't.
Honestly, and that was a hard realization for me, because there's a lot of people in my life that live an unhealthy lifestyle that is very different from the lifestyle I live, and I've tried to have influence over those people because I want to see them, you know, live a healthy life and live a long life, and you know, be happy and present for the people around them. And
exactly,
some people you're not going to convince them, or they might give the appearance of being convinced or interested, but like you can't get them to take action. And I had to get to a point myself where I had to say, you know what, I'm just going to move on from those people, because you know, if they're not interested, then I can't do anything for them.
No, you know, like most people, it usually takes something bad to happen for them to have a realization that they need to make a change in their life. There's nothing that you can say to anybody really that's going to really make a change in them. I mean, we can plant seeds, but that everybody has to make the change and realization within themselves to do it. Right. And unfortunately, it's usually because like something bad happened, or somebody they know passed away, or they were told, oh, you're pre-diabetic, or this and that. And then they start to make the change in their life. It takes something. Something has to happen.
Sometimes it's hard to care, but sometimes you just got to turn it off too.
That's why I just plant seeds. Like, why are you going to wait till the day when the doctor tells you that you're diabetic or you have heart disease? Just start right now. Take care of yourself. Especially if you have a family, you're the example. You're the leader. Be the leader in your family. Set the example first, because everybody's following your example. So if you're eating like shit and you're not taking care of yourself, what do you expect your children are going to do? You think they're going to follow you? They're going to do whatever they want to. You have to take the lead first and take responsibility for your own actions, set the right example, and then people will naturally follow that example, whatever example you set.
I was just talking about that to someone yesterday, about how I will often work out or do my mobility stuff with my kids, like in the room with me, which can be very distracting and kind of annoying sometimes, because like they want to climb all over me, or they're getting in my way or whatever. But at the same time, like, it's really important to me that they see me doing that stuff.
It's very important.
And then I can talk to them about why I'm doing it. And sometimes, you know, I got this little like 5-pound kettlebell, and sometimes my 5-year-old will pick that up and start, you know, doing squats with it or whatever. And it's super cute. And I'm like, all right, it's despite how much this is distracting or taken away from me, just kind of like finding my flow, like I am accomplishing something extra here.
You are 100%.
Yeah.
Especially children, they pick up every small behavior that you project. It's embedded in them. That's what children do from the time you're a baby. Whatever behavior that you see in your parents, you start to mimic and emulate the same thing. It's crazy.
My 5-year-old is the pickiest person that ever existed on this planet. But he actually still has some fundamental understanding of macronutrients. Like we'll talk about like protein and fat and carbs, and like, so he gets it, even though he won't eat most of the things. Like I'll be eating, you know, some meat or whatever. I'll be like, is that your protein, Dad? I'm like, yep, that's my protein.
At least you're planting little seeds here and there through everything you're doing. And you're showing your son, right? Like exercise and eating healthy and cold plunge and self-care activities. And the kids, they see that.
Still haven't gotten him in the plunge. He'll put his hand in. That's as far as he'll go.
But it's so like important what we do first.
We gotta walk the talk.
Exactly. Let your actions speak.
All right, man. Well, like I said, the Superhuman Blueprint Podcast.com is where the show notes will be. So I will link to Jackson, his websites where you can learn more about his programs and get enrolled, as well as his social media, where you can see his 3:30 in the morning posts and get motivated and ready to start your day. Thanks for coming out to the studio.
It's a pleasure, brother.
Getting cold and then getting hot with me in here.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Until next time.
All right.
Yes, sir.